Hey everybody, and welcome to The Reading Room, the new podcast from your Rowan County Public Library. We are so excited to bring this new program to you and excited to have you listening. So I am Morgan.
And I'm Megan.
And I'm Emery.
And we are going to be your hosts for this podcast going forward. So we wanted to make this first episode about... the library has kind of been operating at minimum capacity for a long time. We've all been at home, we've all been cooped up with nothing to do, and we have missed y'all so much. So this episode is about opening back up all the new stuff that we're trying and the ways that we're going to be coming back with the stuff that we used to do, and hope that we'll see you participating. So we're going to get right into it with some talk about programming, some talk about scheduling, and some talk about the services that we've been offering, that we haven't been offering, things that you can expect to see back if you've missed them, because life is kind of trickling back into the library, which is great. I know that y'all have seen a big increase in folks coming up to the circulation desk recently.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this time last month, it was dead. But now we've just been seeing like all of the familiar faces that we used to see before the pandemic. We're seeing new faces. And honestly, it's just so good to hear like noises in the library again. I know that libraries are stereotyped to be a very quiet, like we'll beat you with a ruler if you make so much as a noise kind of thing. But no, it's not that. We want noise. We want people. We want people to just be excited and to be happy when they're in the library again. And we certainly are.
Yeah, I feel like, the library, the public library especially, is becoming more and more of a community space. And Emery, I think you're the first person I heard say this, that like it's not customer service, it's community service.
Absolutely.
And so even though, you think of the library as being a quiet spot, but it's been kind of eerie to be in here and to be serving people through the drive-through window and so on, and to just not have anyone out in the atrium or browsing the stacks or using the computers. It's been really odd.
I will say that creepy libraries are cool for like the first 2 days. And then it stops being not so creepy as it is boring and sad.
Yeah, it becomes kind of lonely.
Yeah.
Because, we're all in this job because we love serving our community and providing information and education and these programming services to people. I know that Miss Sandy has been desperate to have kids back there in the children's area again. Yeah. It is just not the same. So I'm really glad to see people back in. For those of you who are tuning in and listening to this first episode, if you haven't already heard, of course, it's still great if you wear a mask when you come in, but we are all the way open. The doors are unlocked, no appointment necessary. You can just come straight inside. And as of the time of this recording, our hours are from, is it 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.?
It's 9 to 7, Monday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5.
There we go. So pretty close to our old hours. And I think, has Tim talked to you yet about, like, we might be expanding that again?
Yeah, so guys, keep your ears and eyes out on our social media and here on the podcast, and we'll let you know. But sometime we do potentially anticipate Sundays coming back. So just look for that. We're not sure if or when that will be, but it may be happening at some point in the future.
Possibly in the fall, sometime whenever school picks back up.
Mm-hmm.
But don't quote me on dates because we don't have any right now. It's just been kind of not even the forefront of our mind. It's just been circling around in our hippocampus for a while. The hippocampus, I have a degree in psychology, peeps.
Here we go.
The hippocampus is kind of like the memory point, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about library stuff.
Okay. I'm not sure if you or I, either one, have a hippocampus.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think. If I did, I've forgotten where I put it. Maybe we should check the lost and found.
Oh, jeez.
We'll have a library scavenger hunt.
Perfect.
Oh, library scavenger hunts are so fun.
A library scavenger hunt specifically for our
For our missing
Hippocampuses?
for the
Hippocampi.
for the missing brain cell, which nobody has had all week this week. So yeah, if y'all would be interested in a program like that, just hit us up on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, Goodreads, Instagram, or go to our website and let us know. But you can see that it's kind of been the same for us as I'm sure that it feels for you, where every 5 minutes things change and we don't always know exactly what it's going to look like by the end of the day, let alone the end of the week. So we're all kind of playing it by ear. But right now we can pretty firmly say that the meeting rooms are open. Right?
Yes.
Right now, I think it's first come, first serve.
Yes.
It is.
And we are still restricting people to using them for a limited time. I think parties can only use them for an hour. Is that still?
I'm not sure if we have.
See, this policy changed like this week. So I know it's first come, first serve, no reservations yet, but we are now taking reservations to use the conference room, the community rooms starting in August.
In August, yes.
So you can reserve an August date now.
Yeah. If you know that you've got something going on August or later that you are going to need a community space for, definitely give us a call. But as of right now, if you just want to come in and have a quiet space to sit down and do some homework or research or something like that, you're more than welcome to snatch up a study room.
Oh, did they clear the study rooms out?
They cleared one of them.
Yes.
See, I didn't even know that. see how put together we are. It's just because this is the first time anybody's done this. I mean, we've not dealt with a situation like COVID-19 since the Spanish flu. It's literally been 100 years. So we're all just doing the best that we can. Mm-hmm. And I know that we're doing the best that we can to bring programming back starting in September.
Mm-hmm. Right now, we still have some programming going on. Like right now, we're full swing in the summer reading program. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't signed up by now, don't worry. You can still go into the children's area or ask us at the front desk, and we will be sure to get you signed right up, especially since we have some pretty good prizes at the end of summer reading. If you want to earn 3 free books, babies can earn just by participating. Children, the ages of 3 to 7, they have to read 5 age-appropriate books. Children, the ages 8 to 12, they have to read 2 age-appropriate books. Teens 13 to 17, they need to read 2 age-appropriate books. And adults have to read 3 age-appropriate books. The grand prize looks like it's going to be a $25 coffee tree book. So, so be sure to sign up if you haven't already. If you have, write down all the books that you've been reading, do the activities in the activity bags that we give you, and just have a blast with it, honestly.
Yeah, we have some really good stuff cooked up, especially for smaller kids, but for adults too, because I know Jess and Sandy have really worked hard to pack those activity bags so that people could participate by getting them handed out through the drive-through window or ask for them at the front desk, as well as actually coming and picking them up. And it's kind of like that across the country. Summer reading is a national program, and librarians all across the country have worked really hard to coordinate to come up with this theme to stick with as many of the plans that they already had that would still work, as possible, and to try and make it fun, because some of this has been distance programming. It's been it's been an adjustment for all of us to try and continue bringing those kinds of services and activities to folks who can't come inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually personally think one of the most interesting things this year that we have going on across the board is that so many of the activities on our summer reading activity sheets that you'll receive in your bags when you sign up are just related to sort of like being outdoors in nature and not so much requiring you to be in the library or to make physical contact with anyone, because nobody was sure. I mean, at the time that all of this was being made, where we would be with the pandemic. And I think that librarians just had to get kind of really creative with what people could do and what we could give out prizes for this year. So I think that it'll be interesting to see what direction that goes in years to come, even when we don't necessarily have to distance ourselves. Will we still want to, and will we make that available for people?
Yeah, because it's worth noting that the summer reading themes, like this year's is Tails and Tales, so TAILS, to represent the animal component, and TALES, like a story. And those themes are decided on years in advance. And I think it's like 10 years out or something like that, 7 to 10 years. They already have the theme picked and they voted on it and it's set. So that means that I'm sure that folks had some idea already in mind of what kind of programming they wanted to execute, and some of that they were able to keep, and then some of it you had to scramble to replace it or do something different. And it just so happened that because we had an animal theme this year, it made it convenient to tap into that nature component and be like, oh, go on a hike, go outside, do some citizen science with your phone, and that kind of thing. If it had been something else, we may have had a much harder time.
Personally, I think the pandemic should have came like 2 years early because we had a space theme summer reading.
Yeah.
So just go to the moon, you're safe there.
It would be totally fun. Well, because that's when we started checking out the telescope kits, was for the big eclipse.
You can still check out telescopes, by the way. Just ask us at the front desk. We'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, we are still circulating telescope kits that you can take home and stargaze for any celestial phenomena, any meteor showers that are going on. For all the, of course, we're in eastern Kentucky, so if we're lucky enough to actually see them and there's no fog at night around Cave Run Lake, or if there are no clouds in the sky.
If you would like to get up close and personal with Mercury and yell at it for the retrograde, you can do that with a telescope kit from your Rowan County Public Library.
There you go.
And if you have no idea what Emery's talking about, like me, you can see the pretty stars twinkle in the night sky.
And of course, we have plenty of books on both subjects, both perspectives.
Right. If you'd like to know what we're talking about.
There you go. Once again, yeah, you can always ask, and we're here to help. And actually, while I'm thinking of it, speaking of summer reading, there's plenty of time. How long does the program run? It ends at the end of
It looks
August?
like it's going to...
It should be through the end of July.
Yes, through the end of July.
Okay.
It looks like that July 31st is going to be the cap.
Okay, so that means that you've got plenty of time to read those books that you need to read in order to qualify for the prizes. And of course, if you are our lucky grand prize winner and get that gift card, then Coffee Tree is a great place to grab a book of your own to keep. And we've got a new component to summer reading this year where several organizations have come together, including our own Kentucky Department of Libraries and Archives and the KIA organization, Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority, and also KY Saves 529. They have all come together to field some different scholarships that you can sign up for as a part of summer reading. So if you're doing the program, make sure that after you sign up here with us for that program, you also go to their website for this event, which is kentuckysaves.com/go-wild.
Can you repeat that? I didn't catch that.
Yep, kentuckysaves.com/go-wild.
One more time for the people in the back.
It's KYSAVES.com/GOWILD. And you can sign up for your chance to win a $1,000 college savings account. And if you do that, and if one of our patrons is the lucky winner for one of those accounts, then the library gets $500 too, which we can turn around and put back into programming and supplies for y'all, which is great. So everybody wins. There are no losers. And hey, $1,000 for college in this economy, right? Truly a grand prize. Now, that being said, that's not the only thing we're doing. Summer reading, of course, is like the biggest thing that we do all year. But we've also got the Read and Walk Challenge.
Yes, we do. Right now, we're what? We are 3 months into the Read and Walk Challenge, and we have 2 more to go.
Yep, because this runs through August, I think.
Right.
Yes. During the time of this recording in June. Well, first of all, the Reading and Walking Challenge is we're in competition with Bath, Fleming, Mason, and Robertson counties to see which county's patrons can listen to the most audiobooks and walk the most steps. And every month we kind of keep track of like different things. So during the time of this recording in June, we are going to be keeping track of who has listened to the most audiobooks.
Or who has just read the most physical books. Yep.
Yes, that is
Was
part
that
of
confirmed?
you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, who has read or listened to the most books. And no, for this step, you don't have to do it while you're walking at the same time.
Please don't.
Unless if you're listening. I think that's okay.
Yes, but if you're reading a physical book, please sit down.
Wow, y'all can do 2 things at once? Amazing.
What's that like?
And then for July, it is the county with the most steps. So put those books down. I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, if you're going to be walking, put those books down, please. But
hold on to the audiobooks. Put the physical books down.
yes, get out and about. Take a couple laps around the city park, like whenever your kid's at the Little League game. Because you know that you have to wait for the other team to get done first. I don't know how Little League works. It's been years since I went there.
And I know that in August, the activity is supposed to be just the county with the most participants. So get your friends and your family to sign up. Make your kids do it, And we end with a 5K run and walk in September to close out the event. So if you want to participate in that, you can download the Challenge Runner app on the App Store if you're using an iPhone, or on the Google Play Store if you're using Android. And you'll have to register as a participant with our specific library if you're one of our patrons. And you can use the code 89384Z-2WXW. And if you can't remember that and you don't want to run it back, then we have handouts here that you can get at the front desk or at the drive-through window that have that code on them, so that you can put that into the app, and that way you can start tracking your steps. And we also, I think, still have a few pedometers to give away as well.
Yes, we do.
Please take them. We don't want them.
No, we want you to have them and use them for this event. So if you need a pedometer to track your steps and you don't have your own device, if you're not already out playing Pokemon Go or something, then grab a pedometer, and you can just ask for one of those up at the front desk. And thank you to Mary Puente
Yes.
over at the Fleming County Public Library, because she is the coordinator for this program, and it's been a blast. Every librarian I've talked to that's participated in this has had a lot of fun. So big thanks to Mary for putting this together for all of us.
Yes. I went over to the Fleming County Library last week sometime, and I got to meet Mary, and she was an absolute delight.
Mm-hmm.
And she just had she had so many things going on, but she had everything right in order, and she was just very sociable, and she was honestly just super fun to be around. So I can totally see why she put together this, because she was all about connecting communities, and that's mainly what this event is about. We can have a competition as much as we want, but in the end, we're all coming together, we're all having fun, and it's been a blast so far.
It really is. Anything we can do to support another library and have fun with them, and to share events and patrons and stuff, we're always into it. And Fleming County has been a really good sport, of course, as well. And actually, so while we're talking about the Read and Walk Challenge too, we should probably mention that it is National Audiobook Month.
Yes, National Audiobook Month. It's a great time for the Read and Walk Challenge to be going on.
Exactly. Yeah, grab those audiobooks. And if we've got playaways here, we've got books on CD. And of course, we also have the Hoopla and Libby apps. And of course, Hoopla, I love Hoopla, but it is kind of like Netflix or Hulu, where it's a bit of a grab bag. And Libby, we get to control the catalog, so we actually have a curated collection for y'all to use and browse on Libby or Overdrive, whichever version you're using, for National Audiobook Month. So that way, if you're looking for something to listen to, maybe if you're just getting into audiobooks, have never tried them before, we have some really good popular ones picked out. We also have a community curated collection on there right now, which we've been trying to plug on social media, where we want to hear your suggestions. What are you reading or listening to, so that we can add those to that collection, and that way everybody can share them. So if you have an audiobook that you're already listening to and you think other people should listen to it, let us know on Facebook, or send us an email, tweet at us, or
even put in the comments of this video.
There you go. Absolutely. And we will add that to the collection so that other people can share in your recommendation. It's been it's been fun browsing through the catalog to put that collection together, because there have been some really interesting requests from patrons for audiobooks in the last couple months. There's always Westerns.
Oh,
Always
yeah,
Westerns.
of course.
There's always Westerns.
I tried my hand at listening to a Western.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Sisters Brothers.
Mhm.
Like, there were two guys whose last names were sisters, and they were brothers. So... So...
The Sisters Brothers. Okay.
And I got through the first chapter, and I'm like, he has a really deep southern drawl whenever he's reading this, which I thoroughly enjoy whenever I'm listening to an audiobook. But it was just a little too much for me. Now, when I was listening to Frankenstein, the guy had a really deep German accent, and I honestly couldn't get enough of it. And it just, like, changed in octaves every time that he was, like, going from Victor Frankenstein to the monster, and then to, like, this guy in the Arctic who was kind of helping Victor Frankenstein out.
Meg, no Frankenstein spoilers.
I'm sorry, it's too soon. I'm sorry.
Mary Shelley is just going to rise from her grave with a disapproving look.
Honestly,
No
that's
spoilers.
such Mary Shelley vibes to
It
begin
is.
with.
Honestly,
It is.
she would. She would.
But audiobooks are very immersive. I feel like if the voice in your head just isn't doing it whenever you're reading a book on your own, then feel free to grab an audiobook somewhere, be it Libby. I've been listening to all my audiobooks on Libby because they have a really good collection.
Yeah, and I mean, we can get whatever you want pretty much too. So if you have a request for a book that's not already in our catalog, feel free to let us know, and I'll try to grab that for you and add it to the collection so that you can listen to it, because I want to know what other folks are listening to, because I'm really picky about my audiobooks. And I really have not built a big collection myself that I go back to and listen to more than once. So if somebody has a great one to suggest, then I'm always interested.
Yes.
I will also say, if you listen to Where the Red Fern Grows, the narrator in that one sounds exactly like your papaw. So
No matter who you are.
he
matter
sounds
who
like
you
his
are.
it sounds like your papaw.
I'm not sure, and specifically, like, not your grandfather, not Gramps.
Not your grandpa.
No.
Not Pappy.
Your papaw.
Dude,
Like, it's a
Dude,
very specific vibe.
we are in Appalachia, my guy. There are no grandfathers here. It's all papaws.
And yeah, because when you are from the region, you know that is such a specific vibe. That is a
Yes.
particular kind of like the difference between like Granny and Nana. Like, those are two different people, or like Mama,
Yeah.
or what those are all, or Abuela. That is
Right.
Those are all very specific entities with their own different kind of
Certainly.
like power and feelings surrounding them. So like, yeah, I can hear this guy in my head.
Like, in one of my creative writing classes back in college, there was this girl who somebody was reading their story, and they had sibling characters, and the brother was referred to as Bubby, the sister was referred to as Sissy.
Of course.
And we were all just kind of commenting on it. This one girl who wasn't in this region, she's like, there's just a dialect that I don't really understand in your story. Like, where are they from? And the professor was just like, deadpan, it's this dialect.
It's here. They're from here. It really is true, though. The language of our region is fascinating, because you can go 5 or 10 miles from the end of one holler to another, and you can find people using slang words and idioms and things that
Sure,
they just did
absolutely.
not use at the other end of the valley.
Yeah.
It's wild. I had an aunt, or an aunt, depending on which end of the valley you're from, who she pronounced sink, as in the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Zinc, like the metal, with a Z. And that was the only word she said like that. So she wouldn't say that the ship was zinking. She just said the kitchen sink, like throw the dishes in the zinc. And I'm not sure. I've never heard anybody else do that. But I also know that she traveled a bit when she was younger and she lived on the other end of the country and came back. So I wonder if that's a Northwestern thing. Or if it has to do, maybe it's something she picked up because kitchen sinks used to be made out of zinc. That was the popular metal, perhaps. I don't know.
Strange.
But it just goes to show you that, it's different. It's different. Everywhere that you look is different. Which actually, that's a great segue into our other monthly theme. It is still June, which means it is also Rainbow Book Month. And so that is different from audiobooks.
Except when it's not.
Except when it's not, because we also have audiobooks for Rainbow Book Month. Jess has done a great little display for us. And we have fiction, we have nonfiction, we've got young adult and juvenile and adult. So whatever you're looking for, it is Pride Month for a little while yet. We have a couple weeks left to celebrate that. And so we have some great titles set out for people to help you do that. And we have another curated Libby collection for Rainbow Book Month as well.
I also want to say, while we're on the subject of Rainbow Book Month, in our library, this is not, of course the display is, but the spirit of Pride is not something that's confined to June. And you never know who your audience is going to be. So to anyone out there who's listening, this is always a safe space for anyone in our community.
Absolutely.
We have resources for you. We have essentially anything that you could ask us for. So never be afraid to come to your library if you feel like you're in a space that isn't going to equip you with everything that you need to learn or express or delve into different areas of your self-expression.
Absolutely, because we're also privileged to work with a lot of other community organizations with whom we've built, able to build bridges, like PCSO out of Lexington, and a lot of the other local, like, Kentucky Fairness and Bluegrass Pride. So, we have a lot of folks who have made recommendations, what books we should have in our catalog, what things we're lacking that maybe we should, we could add more, but also places to point you if you have questions that we can't answer. So that's our job. And if we can't answer those questions or help you find them for yourself, then we will. But if we can't, then we also have numbers that you can call and other people that you can talk to whose job it is to be experts in this stuff. And I look forward to celebrating that, not just here for the next couple of weeks, but also the rest of the year. And I have to double check what our themes are going to be coming up in July. I know that Jessica and I have talked about it, and she told me, and I can't remember because all I can recall, since I can only have one thought in my head at a time.
How's that hippocampus treating you, bud?
Poorly. We're not speaking at the moment, literally. No, we made some kind of joke in passing about how, like, the only thing in July was National Hamburger Day or something like that, and that's all
because
it's
it's the 4th. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Independence Day is in July, isn't it? Yeah. That is a major holiday that we celebrate at the same time every year. I remembered that now.
National Hamburger Day.
Yeah, National Hamburger Day.
It's the same, right?
It's always the same.
National Hamburger Firework Hot Dog Day.
Yeah. Well, I may not be able to remember now, but we will be doing this podcast more going forward. We will be releasing new episodes on the first and third Saturdays of every month. And so you can check back in on our website or with our publications, our mailing list and on the blog and so forth, or listen here to find out what our monthly things are going to be. And we always have some great displays. We always have some great programs that go with that theme. Just listen back in July and we will confirm then. After July, I know that in September, we mentioned earlier, that's when we're starting back, like programming is coming back full swing. And y'all have some specific programs that we have confirmed are returning.
Yes. So Anime Club and Writers Workshop are both going to be returning in the fall. Hopefully, if everything stays according to plan.
Yeah.
Writers Workshop will be, what did we agree on? It was the last Wednesday of every month. Anime Club will be the first Wednesday of every month. So first and last Wednesdays. Last Wednesday is going to be workshop. First Wednesday is going to be Anime Club. So for Anime Club, it's exclusively for teens. I'm gonna
13 to 17.
I normally keep it a little bit younger. Like if there's a 11 or 12-year-old, even a 10-year-old who's super into anime, who's super into manga and stuff like that, they're more than welcome to come in. We watch anime. We do a bunch of like fun activities based around that anime. The first and last anime club I had before we got shut down.
Thanks, COVID.
Thanks, COVID.
Thanks, COVID. We based it all around My Hero Academia. So we watched My Hero Academia. We did like these really cool collages where we took images from the manga and we just kind of put it onto cardboard, like making a super cool collage.
I saw those over in the children's area. They were on display for a while, and the folks did some really good work.
Yes.
I stopped and looked at those more than once.
Yes.
We have actually had several people ask, what happened to those, and are you still using them, or can I take them home?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They are other people's, so no, I cannot give you a random person's work.
No, but if you are responsible for making one of those collages, then you should be proud of yourself because... Hey.
And also come talk to me to pick it up. You know who you are. But anywho. Or if you want one, then jot down September into your calendar or your agenda or your notes or just or on the back of your hand.
Or into your hippocampus if it's functional.
And
wherever you keep your notes and agendas.
And you can possibly make one or a different activity come our next anime club. Like, during my experimental run, I made like plush Totoros from My Neighbor Totoro.
Those are so cute.
They're so cute. They're so soft. They're so much fun to throw at people. And just gonna keep on doing quality crafts like that. It's gonna be super fun. And then Writer's Workshop.
And we also actually, now is a great time to get into Anime Club and to prep for it because we have really been working on expanding our graphic novel collection too.
Yes, absolutely we have. So that is a very, very good time to be getting into Anime Club. If it's something that you are not into yet and you think that you could become interested in it, especially our young adult graphic novel collection, but really just all across the board. If you want to get into anime or you want to get into graphic novels, it is probably the prime time to pair some new reading material with a new program that you've never been to before.
Absolutely, because you've got 2 months to read up and check out the collection and find something that you like before the program comes back and come in armed with something that you want to know more about, because most manga that we have, I think, have got an anime adaptation.
Yes,
and
most of them do.
Most of them. And we also we have a pretty good spread now. It's always growing. We have a lot of complete series. We have some really interesting one-offs and independent mangas. Like I just got through reading Our Dreams at Dusk, which is a 4-volume series. And I know you started that, and I can't remember if you finished it.
I didn't. No, I actually didn't even get through the first volume because I am horribly notorious for reading too many books at once, and I was on a large graphic novel kick at the time that I started that one, and then I decided that I needed to put them all down and focus on more like 3 to 5 at a time than 15. So I will have to pick it back up eventually. And
well, I definitely do recommend it. I read the first one and wasn't sure exactly how into it I was going to be. And by the time I got to the end of it, I realized how quickly I had read it and then was very sorry that I did not have volumes 2 through 4 with me at the time. And I just ate them up the next day.
Yeah.
So
and comic books, graphic novels, manga, all of that is like so much more than the stigma surrounding them. Like comic books just aren't like superheroes punching things, and manga isn't just
superheroes shouting at each other. And,
yeah. Thank you.
There's more than Dragon Ball, is what we're
Yes.
saying. You can say Dragon Ball.
But if you're into Dragon Ball, more power to you.
Yes,
Yes,
honestly.
like it is one of the classics. And also, I think it's important to note, like, we do have an adult graphic novel section. Some folks think that if it has pictures, if the book has pictures, then it's for kids. And that is just not true. There's nothing wrong with our young adult graphic novels, but also, like, it's not something you have to grow out of.
Certainly not. You guys, let me tell you a quick story about one of the saddest experiences I've ever had in my life. So briefly, I worked at a bookstore a couple of years ago, and there was someone who brought in their child and said to that child, "Now I want you to pick out a real book. I don't want you reading any more of those picture books. They're making you stupid."
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that that was said to a child?
Jeez.
That just broke my heart. So if anybody out there has the mindset that their child is not reading, quote unquote, a real book, graphic novels, manga, anime, it's for everyone of every age. And there is nothing unintelligent about that type of literature whatsoever.
Absolutely. Especially because you are still reading. Even if it has pictures, like they are graphic novels, it's not reading it to you. And so there's a lot of different kinds of learning involved in a graphic novel. And I mean, they're really popular right now for a reason.
And they span across genres. Like, if you want superhero stuff, then obviously you have Batman, Superman, all that stuff. If you want something a little bit more sad and down to earth, then I would highly recommend, like, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Oof.
Or
That's such a strange title, but it's such a good book.
That
or Hey
smacks me in the
Kiddo.
feels.
Or Hey Kiddo, because that one deals with, like, a kid growing up with his parents fighting off drug addiction and stuff all like that. If you want just something feel-goody, then there's Heartstopper. You know, you
Yes,
knew,
absolutely. I knew.
Heartstopper, Check Please, The Backstagers. I just read all of those.
Yeah, for
Very good.
for sure. Oh, and if you guys are into horror, please check out Junji Ito, because I always need new people to talk about Junji Ito.
One of the classics, definitely. Or there's also Something is Killing the Children.
Oh, yes, that one is so good.
I got very into that. And so we have horror, we have slice of life, we have drama, we have a little of everything. And so we could recommend all of it. And there is also a Libby and Overdrive collection for those as well. And there's a lot of crossover in there for Rainbow Book Month too, because some of those that we named, like Our Dreams at Dusk and The Backstagers, are LGBTQ plus materials. We have a lot of those. It's a very popular genre for that. But we also, I mean, we've got the classics like Dragon Ball. We've got Hikaru Hikaru no Gu. My Japanese has the brain cell somewhere
I don't know,
else.
you weeb.
Well, we've got Naruto, and that's all really anyone cares about.
There you go. We
so-
have Naruto and Bleach,
We have
and that's all that
Naruto,
really
we have
matters.
My Hero Academia. We are getting Mob Psycho 100, which I'm very excited about.
You've lost me.
Huh?
Yeah, that's not one I'm familiar with.
What,
Which
you've never heard of Mob Psycho 100?
I have not. Which just means when we do get it, I will absolutely have to read it.
We have the first 3 volumes.
Oh, good. Well, checked out. No, we don't. You'll have to put
No,
them.
we don't.
You'll have to put them on hold because Emery and I are going to read them first. Ha ha.
Okay, well,
So-
before you can just steal the collection away from our valuable and lovely patrons, I'm going to move on to Writing Workshop now.
Yeah, if you don't like it, write your own book, and here's how. There's a program for that.
So, Writing Workshop is Writer's Workshop, rather. I should know it. I named it. It is an event where I go over like a little lesson plan about what we're going to be workshopping, and then it takes maybe like half an hour or so for me to go over the lecture, and then the rest of the time it's just writing and sharing each other's stories. And I managed to get a couple of these in before COVID hit. I think I had maybe 6. And as the event went on, the numbers kept on increasing. Everyone became, like, they were already into the idea, but they became invested in the idea. Like, I still have 1 or 2 patrons who used to come to Writer's Workshop who have been adding on to the stories that we made in there. and they keep on telling me about them and all the progress that they've been making for the past year and a half.
That's
and
awesome.
I absolutely love it.
That is incredible.
That's
Because
really great.
whenever I come up with like my silly little prompts, I think nothing of it. So like, for example, one of our running characters is Billy the Great, because I could say Billy, but where's the fun in just keeping it Billy?
Mm-hmm.
So one of like the characters I keep in my prompts is like, Billy the Great needs to save the princess or whatever, and go from there. How is he going to save the princess? And everybody just loves him. So I have a couple who have transformed Billy. Like, one of them is Billy was the son of a poor farmer, a poor chicken farmer, and now he has to be this great hero. There was even this story where they transformed Billy the Great into like this little kid who was in like a tetherball tournament, and that's how he became Billy the Great, because he won the tetherball tournament.
That's very like Roald Dahl or Judy Blume.
Yes, definitely.
Kind of.
And I absolutely love all of the creativity that comes from these programs, because go wild, have fun with it. Like, I'm here to show you how to do stuff and to listen to your stories. And it used to be by genre, like every month we would go over a different genre. It was like historical fiction, science fiction, romance, another one I'm forgetting.
Fantasy.
Fantasy, yes, that's the one.
It's like sci-fi, but not in space.
Yeah, I think half of that lecture was just defining the difference between science fiction and fantasy. There is none, by the way.
Yeah, that's a very blurry area right there.
We don't have time to get into this debate.
Come at Megan in the comments with your opinions about the difference between sci-fi and fantasy.
Yes,
She'd
please.
love to hear them.
Yes, please come into the comments. This is legit. Come into the comments, because I want to see your hot takes. I love hot takes.
I would like to just offer a little side note that if your take is not that there is a wildly large difference between sci-fi and fantasy, I'm not interested.
Well, see, this is just proof, like with the prompts, that everybody is inspired by something different. Everybody has a different perspective, and that's what makes things like Writer's Workshop great. Because you can come up with something like Billy the Great, and if there are 30 people in a room, then there might be 45 interpretations of Billy.
Yeah.
And we want to hear all of them. And honestly, Writer's Workshop is a program I'm really personally very excited about and to see succeed, because my hope, my not so secret hope, it's not secret because I'm sharing it now, my private hope is that somebody who comes to Writer's Workshop will get really into it and stick with it. And they will take the skills that they learn there and the interest and the spark that they get from that program and from sharing their story, and maybe wind up a published author.
Yes.
And we can have those books here in the library, because we would love nothing more than to celebrate a local author, especially one who maybe got their start here at the library.
Absolutely. And like, before we were scared off from society, shoot away with a broomstick, my goal was by June of 2020 to gather an anthology of the stories that the patrons would select, what they think is their best work, touch it up, edit it, and then we would have a book of all of these stories that these community members made, and just have that available and ready to check out for anyone who wants to read it.
I think that would be so wonderful.
Yes, that was like one of the first things that I came up with whenever I wanted to create Writer's Workshop. And I know I haven't really thought about it in a year because we've had other things going on. But
now that the program is coming back, that goal can come back too, and you can be a part of it.
Yes.
If you come to the program. Because I know there are a couple of others like that are still up in the air, where I know there's been some collaborative talks. Like, I don't know if Litwit's book club is coming back yet.
I still don't think that it's been determined whether or not it's coming back. It's still definitely one of the more up in the air programs, I believe.
That and Chow Club, I'm not sure yet exactly what's going to happen to them. So if y'all want to see those programs back, if you enjoy that or want to know more about them, let us know. Because that's the best way that we can bring you programming, is when we hear directly from you, either by email or your comments on social media, or when you just come in and tell us, That's how we know what you want to see. Because I know like Chow Club was a big success when it was going on at the time. And there was some talk about maybe coming up with like a collaborative community cookbook too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also how I found the literary themed cookbook that we have in our collection, which I think I recommended to you. Did you get a chance to read that?
Yes, I did. And it was absolutely incredible. I would highly recommend it to anyone who is an avid reader, and especially anyone who has read some, I don't know if classics is the word that I want to use, but I would say generational classics for millennials, probably. Anything that we read in our childhood or in school, there was some sort of cooking reference to in this book. Mm-hmm. So definitely jump on that if you're interested.
Yeah, because we have several of those. Like there is a literary holiday cookbook. So, it's festive meals. And then we have a couple of different Roald Dahl cookbooks, but then the Little Library cookbook and the Literary Tea Party are the ones that I'm thinking of in the book club cookbook, all of which are great in their own way and all of which have something different. So they're all worth checking out. Speaking of other programs that are coming back, I know that as of right now, of course, everything's subject to change. We are also planning on bringing you back technology classes, which will start out on the first Tuesday of the month in September. And I know there's been a lot of demand for that. A lot of you keep asking, when are technology classes coming back? When are computer classes returning? And so be assured they will. We're going to start with once a month, and then if there is enough demand and participation, we might move to once every 2 weeks, and eventually maybe even back to once a week the way that we were. It just depends on, how many people need assistance when. So we'll kind of play that by ear. And we'll also be bringing back our board game nights, which will be the last Tuesday of the month. So that's right before Megan's programs. So first Tuesday and Wednesday, you can look forward to some programming. Last Tuesday and last Wednesday, you can look forward to that. And we will keep you abreast of any other programs as we add them.
And I also know that Jess is going to have adult programming every Thursday.
Yes, every Thursday. She and I think Cindy and Sandy are all talking about different programs that are coming back. So we're going to be announcing those on Facebook, on Twitter. We will put them on the website as soon as we have dates for them and as soon as we have like concrete themes to bring you. And concrete themes, actually, like the ones for the podcast here, because we've talked a lot about what else is going on at the library, but we should probably finish up this episode by telling you what else you can look forward to in the podcast itself. We are going to be uploading this to YouTube and possibly to some other services like iTunes where you'll be able to access it, but we'll definitely have links to that on the website, and you can look forward to several different themed segments like we talked about Bad Book Club.
Oh man, Bad Book Club is absolutely the one that I am personally the most excited for. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know so that you can be reading it while we're reading it, that the first... Is it even a book?
It's a short story.
That we're going to be reading for Bad Book Club, which I guess just qualifies as a bad short story, is by Stephen King. And I know that this is incredibly controversial, but it's going to be, I'm sorry, is it Trucks?
Trucks.
So if you don't know, the movie adaptation Maximum Overdrive is the only Stephen King film that he ever directed himself, and then he decided, nah, fam.
Yeah, we won't be doing that again.
So we already have our story set for Bad Book Club, and Bad Book Club is pretty much going to be just a little piece of fun where we take books we absolutely cannot stand, or we accidentally stumbled across and it was just so bad, like the author genuinely made an attempt to write a good book but just couldn't pull it off, and therefore vampirates came into being.
Yeah, look out for that one. We'll definitely do those at some point, I'm sure.
And of course, there's a difference between satire or parody and what we're looking into here, because we're kind of looking at like B-movie versions of books. Like an attempt was made. They were not trying to be funny, and we're just looking forward to having fun roasting these books. It's so like Vampirates or Twilight, for example, or so, that's not the same thing as Amish Werewolves in Space, which was written to be humorous. But we also want to read things that we genuinely enjoyed reading. So, like, we're going to be dragging these books and these stories for fun, but it's because we enjoyed them, because we don't want to sit and read a bunch of stuff that we hated. And we want to recommend something that we think you're going to enjoy if you decide to look into it too. So we're going to be looking for things that meet those qualifications. Books that someone tried to write a serious story and didn't quite get there, but also we had trouble putting it down.
Right. So definitely, if you have recommendations of books like that, let us know in the comments here. If you listen to this podcast, come in and tell us in person, however you want to do it. But please, please, please let us know what we should read next.
Absolutely. And we're also going to be looking into some pleasant surprises to go with the unpleasant surprises, where we're going to be sharing items that we found in our catalog that we didn't think we were going to be as into them as we turned out to be. Books or video games or movies or audiobooks or whatever that at first we thought, this might be okay, you know, I'll give it a try, and then it turned out that it was really good and really hooked us. I know that I just shared a book with you a little while ago that I did not think I was going to like, and then I ate it all up in one morning.
Looking at you, Rowan Parrish.
And now we have every book that I think she's written in the catalog.
Oh.
I did leave out a few.
Oh, it's that Corbin Walsh book, isn't
Yes,
it?
It's
okay.
the remaking of Corbin.
The remaking of Corbin Whale.
Corbin Whale, yes.
Yes, which is one of those...
Which
kind
I
of
ordered,
Hallmark...
by the way.
See, so now we all have our own copy.
Yes.
That's actually the first book in a while
No,
I have...
I ordered it for the library.
Oh, good. Okay, so you can check it out.
So
and
it's
read it
your
then.
fault.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Good. Wonderful. So blame Megan when you check this book out and it turns out to be really good.
And you're welcome when Morgan and I recommended it to you, but blame
Yes.
Megan.
Yes, because it is very much one of those Hallmark, like, big city guy starts a small town bakery, and then, like, will he find romance? And I usually am not interested at all in that entire genre,
No.
and this one I could not put it down.
Me neither, but if you're into, like...
If you're into Hallmark feel-good movies.
Right, if you want some gay Hallmark action, that's also just, like...
Very wholesome.
over dramatically emo.
Yeah.
Check out the remaking of Corbin Whale. I don't know
is-
how else to put it. I can't make it sound good.
It's like...
Because it's not, but it's great.
It's like wholesome scene romance.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, we'll be looking forward to your recommendations for that too. Let us know things that you didn't think you were going to like or weren't sure if you'd like it when you first picked it up, and then you found a new favorite author or a new favorite book or a new favorite movie to share. And we're also, of course, as time goes on, we're going to be doing little things like, a year in review, discussing our favorite items that we found from the catalog, from our collection over the last few months. We're going to be doing a quarterly or seasonal kind of segment talking about items with high circulation. So things that you guys are checking out that we have noticed are really popular. Of course, we're going to be talking about stuff like our staff picks as those rotate and change. Atlanta is handling those now, and there's going to be some different themes. So that shelf is going to be changing a little bit more often. And we're going to be talking about why we put what we put out there. Because I know our theme, I think, for right now is motivation. And like my picks were, one of them I chose Claire Saffitz's new cookbook, Dessert Person, because I love to cook, but I am really bad at baking, which is different. Like, cooking is alchemy, cooking is art, cooking is intuitive. Baking is a science, and you have to measure things, and it took me years to get my first loaf of bread to rise, and I don't know why. But now that I have, I am obsessed with getting better at it, and watching Claire on YouTube has really helped me learn a lot of new skills, and I really enjoyed reading her cookbook and seeing not only how easy she made some things that looked complicated to me seem in the kitchen, but also the way that she decided to explain things like, this is why you do it this way, or if you can substitute an ingredient, this is why that substitution works, or why you might want to do that in order to change something about the recipe. So look forward to those. And of course, we'll be talking more about other programming, other activities that we've got going on as they become relevant. And you can look forward to that in future episodes of the podcast every first and third Saturday of the month. Yeah. Let us know in the comments, what more you want to hear, what your thoughts and feelings are on all of this stuff. We're really excited to hear your feedback. And we will be back with more material next time. So until then, again, I am Morgan.
I'm Megan.
I'm Emery.
And this has been The Reading Room, brought to you by your Rowan County Public Library.